One of the great joys of this election is how simple and clear it is. This is the third time in American history where we have two incumbent presidents running against each other. What does that mean? What are we talking about? So Grover Cleveland was president in 1884, served 4 years, then lost to Benjamin Harrison, and then ran again 4 years later and crushed Harrison. So Cleveland is the only president who has served two non-consecutive terms. He was the 22nd and the 24th president. Trump wants to be Grover Cleveland. He wants to be that guy. But you got to go back 132 years since the first time it happened. The other time was 112 years ago. Teddy Roosevelt won, did not run. This was 1904, did not run in 1908. Then ran again. He actually lost the primary. So it'd be like if he lost to DeSantis in the primary, decided to run as a third party, got second to Woodrow Wilson. So he won, didn't run, and ran again, but lost. So Trump doesn't want to be Teddy Roosevelt. So Trump looks, this is the third time it's happened, and he hopes to be the second person to be successful at this. But the point is, it's been over 100 years where we have 3 years of Trump. I'm saying 3 years because of pre-COVID. COVID messed everything up. Then we've had 3 years of Biden. It couldn't be more clear. It's right in front of us. We've lived both. There's nothing new here, right? Whenever anyone runs for office, the other campaign always says, oh, if he wins, then these terrible things will happen. You can't do that with Trump because we already know the great things that happened, right? All we heard in 2016 is, oh, we can't have Trump near the nuclear button. Here's Hillary making that point.
Well, the bottom line on nuclear weapons is that when the president gives the order, it must be followed. There's about 4 minutes between the order being given and the people responsible for launching nuclear weapons to do so. And that's why 10 people who have had that awesome responsibility have come out and in an unprecedented way said they would not trust Donald Trump with the nuclear codes or to have his finger on the nuclear button.
Remember that nuclear holocaust we had when Trump was president? Oh no, that's right. We had peace summits with North Korea. My fault. Trump also killed the Wagner Group. We're going to talk more about that later. 300 Russian mercenaries in Syria. That was all we heard from the Wagner Group, right? Russia attacked Ukraine in 2014 when Joe Biden was vice president, and then in 2021 when Biden was president. Interesting. So in today's special, we're going to do that. We're going to drive home this A/B testing of each candidate, and I think that's such a good way of looking at it, right? We can't miss this opportunity again. It's rarely ever happened. A/B testing, it's like a marketing trick where they're trying to test out which website is best. So they launch two versions and they see which one performs better. They have an A version and a B version, which one gets better results. And then whichever works, you do that, right? That's what we get to do with our country. We have A, Trump ran for president for 3 years. Then we have B, Biden for 3 years. All right, well, what do we got? And we do this to an extent, right? But I want to really drive this home and be as clear as possible so we can articulate this to as many people as possible. But we do this with the age-old question, are you safer now than 4 years ago? Or are you better off than 4 years ago? And we all know the answer to that. But I want to be more specific. And that's what this special is all about. Because we got to get out there. We got to spread the word. Everyone feels that, of course, the Trump presidency was better. But we need to make it obvious. One of my favorite new memes, someone sent to me this just the other day. Like the adventures of the guy who just started paying attention. It's like, yeah, welcome to the party, guys. But people are just waking up. And that's okay. They're late to the party, but that's all right. Glad you're here. Remember a couple weeks ago, we talked about the 72-year-old woman. She was at the New Hampshire primaries, and she said, I can't vote for Trump because I believe in a strong NATO. What? So does Trump. The whole point of Trump criticizing NATO was to make it stronger because Germany was only paying 1% of their GDP and you're supposed to pay 2%. So the point was to make it stronger. So I'm here, we are all here to help people like that see the truth. Now we're not just going to bash Biden here and praise Trump, right? We're going to highlight the differences. And I'm going to ask each of our guests what their critical of Donald Trump was, what criticism they have of his first 3 years foreign policy-wise as well. But let me just give one clear example, right? Clear as day. Trump designated the Houthis in Yemen as a terrorist group. No one ever even heard of the Houthis. But they were a terrorist group. And of course, from the left, oh, how could you? Biden takes over. One of the first things he does is take the Houthis off the terror list, right? And the idea was that if more money can flow into Yemen, they will use that money to help their people. That was literally the thought process. And of course, they used the money to launch attacks in the Red Sea and completely shut it down. So here's the Red Sea right now. Everyone having to go around Africa instead. So Biden put them back on the terror watch list or the terror list, right? So just another example of how Trump was right. And then, of course, Biden's attack against Iran, right? Iran has launched 160 plus attacks against us, killed 3 Americans. And Biden tells the world when and where we're going to strike. It's unbelievable. Now it's confirmed that we didn't get the people that we wanted to attack because, of course, they left. And that's one of Trump's biggest foreign policy pet peeves. Here he is in 2016 in a debate with Hillary.
What do you think will happen if it falls?
I think that it basically has fallen, okay? It basically has fallen. Let me tell you something. You take a look at Mosul. The biggest problem I have with the stupidity of our foreign policy. We have Mosul. They think a lot of the ISIS leaders are in Mosul. So we have announcements coming out of Washington and coming out of Iraq. We will be attacking Mosul in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Well, all of these bad leaders from ISIS are leaving Mosul. Why can't they do it quietly? Why can't they do the attack, make it a sneak attack, and after the attack is made, inform the American public that we've knocked out the leaders, we've had a tremendous success. People leave. Why do they have to say we're going to be attacking Mosul within the next 4 to 6 weeks, which is what they're saying? How stupid is our country?
There are sometimes reasons the military does that. Psychological
I can't
warfare.
think of any. I can't think of any.
It might be to help get civilians out.
That's exactly what Biden did just the other day. The only argument that I ever hear people make against Trump's foreign policy is when you bring it up with most people, they'll say, oh, he was such an embarrassment. Oh, he was an embarrassment to us. I can't wait to ask our guests how they would respond to this. But my response is, I'd rather our president be right